I still think Drake will fuck.
Oh.
No, I'm keeping a blow roll. I still think Drake will fuck.
That statement is stirring big questions right now after fresh twists in the XXXTentacion case, with chatter about a killer ready to speak after getting out. Rumors are moving quick, and people think unexpected names might get called, ones nobody saw coming. That news got the streets buzzing loud.
You are as guilty as they are, because you are an essential part of that crime.
Those words still hitting different, even almost 8 years after X got taken out in broad daylight outside a Florida motorcycle dealership. Now here we are in April 2026, and that moment isn't fading. It's getting louder online, turning into non-stop noise across every platform. Robert Allen, the cooperating co-defendant, the one who took the plea, the guy people keep calling the Rat, walked out of a Florida prison in late 2023. After serving that reduced sentence, he came home low-key on unsupervised release. No spotlight on him. But now in 2026, people acting like he just stepped out yesterday, like it all just happened again. Folks are saying he might be ready to start naming names and putting everything out there, but let's lock in on the facts first, no guessing. Back on June 18th, 2018, X got shot during a bold armed robbery outside a motorcycle dealership in Deerfield Beach, Florida. The 20-year-old rapper, real name Jose Dwayne Onfroy, had just pulled $50,000 in cash from the bank. He was leaving the store with his friend when his BMW i8 got boxed in by a Dodge Journey. Two masked attackers jumped out, ran up to the driver's side, and after a quick struggle, one of them fired 3 shots at his neck. They grabbed the Louis Vuitton bag full of cash, took his chain, and sped off fast, leaving chaos behind. All of it got caught on camera, every second locked in. Investigators tracked it all through phone records, cell tower pings, and even social media posts those guys put up themselves. They really went online showing off money just hours after the crime, making it way too easy to connect the dots. 4 men ended up getting charged for the murder: Dedrick Williams, Michael Boatwright, Trayvon Newsom, and Robert Allen. 3 of them, Williams, Boatwright, and Newsom, faced trial together in early 2023. That case dragged on for about 11 weeks, with a jury grinding through more than 7 straight days of deliberation before reaching a decision. In the end, all 3 were found guilty of first-degree murder and armed robbery. Each one got sentenced to life without parole. No second chances at all. Boatwright, the one identified as the shooter, was handed 2 consecutive life sentences plus an extra 30 years stacked on top. That sealed it. They're locked in for good, not stepping outside again. But Robert Allen, the 4th person involved and the one who cooperated, had a completely different path. Allen took a plea deal, admitting to second-degree murder and armed robbery in exchange for testifying against the others during the trial in May 2023. He received a 7-year sentence, but with credit for the nearly 4 years and 9 months he had already served. On top of that, he was given 20 years of supervised release. By late 2023, Allen had completed his sentence and was back out, staying under supervision ever since, moving in silence while everything around him keeps heating up.
Now, this murder occurred on June 18th, 2018, outside of Riva Motorsports. It's a motorcycle dealership in Deerfield Beach.
So now here we are in April 2026, almost 3 years since Allen got out, and suddenly the internet is going crazy. YouTube is flooded with videos claiming he's finally talking, saying he's dropping Drake's name, pushing stories that Drake is in full panic mode trying to control the damage. The thumbnails are over the top. Drake looking stressed, X edited to look haunting, and Allen placed right in the middle like he's holding some huge secret. The titles go even further, throwing out claims about money being passed around, people being hired, and a major rap star supposedly getting exposed for a role in one of hip-hop's most tragic losses. Here's where it falls apart. None of that is true, not even a little bit. Let's get clear on what Robert Allen actually said, both during the trial and after his release, because the facts are way different from the online noise. During the 2023 murder trial, Allen took the stand under oath on February 8th and again on February 14th. When he was asked directly about Drake, about any connection, about whether anyone paid for the attack, about claims of a setup, Allen clearly denied it all under oath. He stated that neither Drake nor anyone linked to him had anything to do with the incident, and that there was no hired plan behind it. He explained it as a robbery, plain and direct. According to his testimony, the group saw X's car, knew he had just withdrawn a large amount of cash, and made a quick move on him. No bigger plot, no outside involvement, just a sudden and violent crime based on opportunity. And since getting out in late 2023, Robert Allen has not publicly said a single thing about Drake. No interviews, no Instagram posts, no comments to reporters, nothing at all. Just silence while the internet keeps spinning its own version of events. He didn't jump on any podcast, didn't drop some big tell-all, didn't run to social media for attention. Every move since his release has been quiet, no statements, no interviews, nothing at all. He's still under supervision, focused on rebuilding his life, and hasn't said a single word about Drake since testifying years ago that Drake had zero connection to the situation. To understand why people keep pushing this narrative, you have to go back to 2017. That's when a young Florida rapper with a wild personality and serious talent decided to call out the biggest artist in the world, accusing him of taking his sound. That moment right there is where everything started, and it still hasn't faded. This wasn't some typical rap beef that came and went. It stuck around, growing over time, shaping how people see things even today. If you want to understand why so many are quick to believe Drake had something to do with X's death, you have to look at the tension that planted that idea in the first place. It all traces back to early 2017, and it didn't start with a diss track or a physical clash. It started with a single track on Drake's More Life playlist. In March 2017, Drake released More Life, and one of the songs, KMT, featuring UK rapper Giggs, immediately caught attention. Listeners quickly noticed similarities between Drake's delivery on that track and the sharp, aggressive triplet flow XXXTentacion used on his breakout song Look At Me, which dropped in late 2015. The rhythm, the cadence, the bounce, it all felt close enough that fans started comparing the two side by side, questioning if Drake had taken inspiration without giving credit. At that time, XXXTentacion was locked up in Florida dealing with serious charges. While he was behind bars, fans were flooding his messages, telling him that one of the biggest names in music had just copied his style. So when he was released on March 27, 2017, he didn't stay quiet. He stepped right into it and addressed everything head on.
What's the situation between you and Drake? Do you guys have beef?
He pulled up for his first big interview after getting out, sitting down with Miami's 103.5 The Beat. And when the host brought up Drake, X didn't dodge anything. He spoke straight, no filter, no hesitation. He started off showing respect, calling Drake a genius, even saying he's the GOAT, giving credit to his success and impact. But then the energy shifted quick, and you could feel it coming. His tone changed, and things got real serious.
I still think Drake will fuck. No, I'm keeping a blood raw. I still think Drake will fuck.
He went on to explain why he felt a certain way, saying Drake had first tried to reach out through middlemen, using a DJ and a manager to pass the message along. According to X, Drake had seen his interview and was telling people he wanted to connect with him directly. That's how it was presented to him, like something real was about to happen behind the scenes, conversations moving quietly before anything hit the public.
He was like, yo, nigga Drake, watch your interview. He said he with you.
But according to X, that call never came. Drake never reached out directly, never followed through on what was being said behind the scenes. Then while X was still locked up, facing serious time, Drake dropped KMT with a flow that sounded way too familiar to him, and that's when it hit. He felt played, like his style got used without respect. He even said straight up that things could have gone completely different. If Drake had shown up in person, even just pulled up to his bond hearing and showed real respect for the culture, X claimed he would have let him jump on a remix of Look At Me and even take 100% of the royalties.
I would have let him hop on the remix, take 100% royalty rate. I would have done it.
That interview blew up instantly and had everybody talking. It turned the situation into more than just music. It became about loyalty, respect, and culture. People started seeing it as a bigger artist stepping on a smaller one during a moment when he couldn't even defend himself. And from there, things escalated fast. X went all in on social media, heavy trolling with no filter. He edited himself into Drake's family photos and labeled himself as Drake's stepdad, taking things to a wild level. He also made disrespectful comments about Drake's mom, Sandra Graham, crossing lines that most in the rap world usually avoid when it comes to family. Drake, on the other hand, stayed more low-key through it all. He later addressed the accusations in a 2017 interview with DJ Semtex, saying he understood why people were comparing the opening bars of KMT, whether it was the cadence or the rhyme style, but he denied ever copying another artist on purpose, making it clear he wasn't moving like that. He even said that at the time he made KMT, he didn't know who X was, but X wasn't letting that slide at all. He responded directly from jail, calling that claim false and pushing back hard on that narrative.
Remember this, Drake said he did not know who that was. He said he had no clue who that was.
Then February 2018 hit, and this is where everything took a darker turn. XXXTentacion posted an Instagram story that would later become infamous. Paraphrased, it said if anything happened to him, it was Champagne Poppy, directly pointing at Drake's IG name. That post sent shockwaves instantly. X deleted it within hours, then jumped on IG Live saying his account got hacked, apologizing to Drake and claiming he didn't want any more enemies. Later on, he went live again and tried to laugh it off like it was all a joke. But the internet doesn't forget anything. Screenshots were already saved, archived, and spreading everywhere. That single post stuck around and became the base for countless theories that came after. Then just 4 months later, on June 18th, 2018, X was killed, and the moment that news broke, that old IG story came rushing back into people's minds. Fans immediately started connecting dots, looking for anything that matched up. They pointed to Drake's track, I'm Upset, released May 26, 2018, just weeks before the incident. People pulled lines like SMS, XXX, that's the only time I ever shoot below the net, and 50,000 on my head, trying to link them to X's name and the money he had before everything happened. Even before his passing, X had started to shift his energy a bit. In a rare moment, he actually took accountability and apologized for speaking on Drake's mother, showing a different side of himself as things between them began to cool down slightly.
I want to say this right now. I want to say this on this video. I apologize to Drake for coming for his mom.
X explained that he started to see their situation more like two businessmen who let things go way too far. He admitted that going after Drake's family crossed a serious line, even though he still believed Drake had taken his flow and didn't fully let that part go.
But I apologize because talking about his mom was wrong. I needed to do that. I needed to do that so they could take me seriously.
He even took it a step further, saying if he ever got the chance to meet Drake in person face to face, no middlemen involved, he would have said it directly. He was sorry and ready to clear the air like real men.
Genuinely. If I had the opportunity to speak to bro, I would tell him, I apologize. I would have been apologized.
That apology came in the months leading up to his death, and you could see the shift happening. X was growing, evolving, trying to get control of his anger and turn it into something real for his fans. Then everything got cut short, and that progress froze in time the moment he was killed, leaving a gap that conspiracy theories rushed in to fill. By the time the 2023 murder trial came around, that old tension got pulled back into the spotlight. Defense attorney Mauricio Padilla tried to push the past beef as an alternate suspect angle. He even attempted to subpoena Drake for a deposition, but Drake's legal team blocked it successfully. Padilla brought up the deleted IG post, mentioned artists connected to OVO as possible witnesses, and even tried to introduce a gang expert, Dr. Jesse Dela Cruz, who had testified in over 150 cases. The goal was to suggest possible connections through symbols and alleged past threats, trying to shift the narrative away from a robbery. But the judge wasn't buying it. Most of that argument got shut down and labeled as speculation, especially with strong evidence already pointing clearly to a robbery as the motive. And right in the middle of it all was Robert Allen, the cooperating defendant everyone is talking about today. During that same trial, he clearly testified that Drake had nothing to do with the situation. That statement was made years ago, and nothing has changed since then. What many people overlook while focusing on the Drake angle is that X had issues with multiple figures in the industry, not just one. His entire rise came with conflict attached to it, and the Drake situation was just one chapter in a much bigger story filled with tension. That context matters because it shows why theories trying to pin everything on Drake ignore the full picture of who X was and how many real issues he had with others in the industry. Take the Migos situation as an example. In November 2017, X claimed Migos jumped him outside a hotel in Los Angeles. As he was leaving with his girlfriend and a friend, he went live on Snapchat and Instagram, pointing out marks on his face and saying the group and their crew came at him 3-on-1. He alleged they pulled up on him aggressively, claimed there was a weapon involved, and even said he got hurt during the situation. He also posted footage that he said showed Takeoff walking away from the scene. Migos never fully confirmed or denied the details publicly, but moments like that highlight the kind of real-life danger X was dealing with at the time. Then there was his fallout with Ski Mask the Slump God, someone who was once close to him. Years after X's passing, Ski spoke out on IG stories, claiming there had been serious tension between them, including statements about threats involving family. He also brought up how conflicts with other artists like Trippie Redd had escalated online and created more division around that time. And it didn't stop there. Rob Stone's name came up connected to the May 2017 incident where X was knocked out on stage at a show in San Diego. That situation was widely discussed and seen as a real-world clash, not just internet talk showing how fast things could turn physical. Then you've got 600 Breezy, a Chicago rapper tied to Drake's circle, who ended up caught in that tension too. He openly said that he and X exchanged threats back in 2017 and admitted in interviews that things were getting close to going further. All of this shows one thing clearly. X was surrounded by multiple conflicts at once, with different people and situations building pressure from all sides, way beyond just one name being thrown around online.
You kind of like inherited him and XXXTentacion's beef a little bit.
Yeah, because he was tripping, bro. That's what made me say something, because I love, like I got to meet his mom multiple times.
The point is simple. X had a long list of real issues with real people, crews with actual presence and influence. Focusing only on Drake ignores the bigger reality. X was surrounded by tension from multiple directions, and his death was carried out by 4 local individuals who saw an opportunity and acted on it, not some superstar sitting miles away who wasn't even in Florida that day. Sometimes the simplest explanation really is the truth, but that gets buried under all the conspiracy talk online. The people responsible weren't professionals, weren't organized in some high-level plan, and weren't moving under secret orders. They were local guys who made careless moves, showing off money on social media just hours after everything happened. They even made critical mistakes like searching things related to the crime online and leaving behind digital trails that led straight back to them. That's not how a coordinated hit tied to a major figure would play out. That's how a rushed, messy robbery unfolds when people get greedy and lose control. 600 Breezy spoke on this directly and didn't hold back. He made it clear that Drake wouldn't risk everything he built over internet tension. He explained that if someone really wanted to send a message, it wouldn't go that far. It would have stopped at something far less extreme. He also pointed out how the people responsible moved after the incident, saying their actions showed they weren't experienced or calculated at all. According to him, they were just chasing money, not carrying out some larger plan. At the end of the day, the streets can recognize what really happened, even when the internet keeps running with a different story.
Why would I throw away my life and career and for everybody else around me to get him killed?
That's the question nobody pushing the Drake conspiracy ever really wants to answer. At that time, Drake was at the very top of the music world, sitting on a massive catalog of hits, running OVO, and pulling in billions of streams across the globe. The idea that he would risk all of that, his career, his business, his freedom, everything he built over a situation with a 20-year-old rapper who had already publicly apologized just doesn't add up. When you actually break it down, it starts to fall apart fast. That kind of move isn't something a person at the top makes. That's the type of decision someone with nothing to lose might take, not someone who's leading the game and protecting a global legacy.
Nah, I'm gonna catch him, he's gonna beat him up or something.
And that's real street logic right there. If a situation gets heated, people handle it directly. If it goes further, it stays simple. You confront the person, you don't create some complicated plan that leaves behind witnesses, phone records, and people showing off stolen items online like nothing happened. That kind of sloppy trail, that's not calculated, that's careless. That's exactly what played out here. A straightforward robbery, no bigger scheme behind it. But the mix of silence, speculation, and viral content kept twisting the story into something else entirely. So now the real question is, where does everything stand in April 2026? If Robert Allen isn't speaking out and there's no new evidence involving Drake, then why is this topic suddenly blowing up again all over the internet? The answer goes back to a legal move from late 2024 that got picked up, reshaped, and pushed as if it were brand new information in 2026. In November 2024, Dedrick Williams, who is serving a life sentence, filed an appeal through his legal team claiming he didn't receive a fair trial. The appeal argued that the court made mistakes by limiting discussion around the Drake situation and not allowing the alternate suspect angle to fully play out. His attorney, Mauricio Padilla, even spoke publicly about it on the Law and Crime Network, and that interview became the spark for many of the viral videos circulating now. But here's the part that keeps getting left out. Padilla made it clear during that interview that he was not accusing Drake of carrying out the act himself. He wasn't even claiming Drake hired anyone, yet that key detail keeps getting ignored as the story gets exaggerated online.
We are, a defendant has every right to defend himself and to show reasonable doubt wherever it may be. Am I going to sit here and tell you that Drake was holding a gun or Drake? But the facts as they are stated by X's own mother, is that she knew about the beef with Drake and with Migos.
The whole strategy was about creating reasonable doubt for the jury, nothing more. It followed a classic defense approach, suggesting someone else could have been responsible to shift how the case was viewed. Padilla argued that the judge first appeared open to allowing discussion around the Drake angle, but then suddenly changed direction in the middle of the trial. According to him, witnesses were limited, lines of questioning got cut off, and cross-examinations were restricted in ways he believed crossed the line and affected his client's rights.
And the argument is that your client didn't get a fair shake, didn't get a fair trial because you couldn't expand upon this and introduce it.
The appeal brief didn't bring anything new to the table at all. No new confessions, no one suddenly speaking out, no fresh claims about Drake or money being passed around. It was the same old material being recycled again. It leaned on the same 2017 and 2018 IG posts, the same lyrics fans have been picking apart for years, and the same talk about signs and affiliations. It even included testimony from X's mother, Cleopatra Bernard, speaking on her concerns about the tension around that time. But none of this was new information. It had all already been out there. Now here's the part that really matters. On February 12, 2026, the Florida 4th District Court of Appeal made its decision and affirmed Dedrick Williams' conviction and life sentence completely. That ruling came through a per curiam opinion, which basically means the court didn't even find it necessary to write a long explanation. They saw no major errors worth revisiting. In simple terms, the appeal failed. The judges found no reversible mistakes, including the earlier decision to limit the Drake-related arguments in court. That strategy didn't hold up legally, and it didn't change the outcome at all. So where does that leave things? Williams remains in prison serving his life sentence, and there haven't been any further updates showing progress on new appeals tied to that claim. As far as the case goes, the conclusion hasn't changed. The killing was ruled a robbery, supported by surveillance footage, phone data, social media activity, and testimony from Robert Allen himself. The four individuals involved, Williams, Boatwright, Newsom, and Allen, acted on their own after spotting an opportunity. They saw X at the dealership, knew he had cash on him, and made their move. It was local, it was unplanned beyond the moment, and it turned deadly fast. The tension between X and Drake was real, no doubt. It involved accusations, personal shots, and moments online that people still talk about today. But that conflict was never backed by credible evidence as being connected to the crime, no matter how many times it gets brought back up. Robert Allen made it clear under oath. Drake had no involvement, and since coming home, he hasn't said a single thing to go against that. The 2024 appeal was basically a last-ditch move, recycling old arguments without bringing any new proof to the table. And in February 2026, the Florida 4th District Court of Appeal shut it all down completely. Dedrick Williams, Michael Boatwright, and Trayvon Newsom are all serving life without parole. Robert Allen is out but staying quiet and keeping a low profile. And when you step back, this whole situation shows something way bigger than just one case or one name. It shows how social media can take a music dispute and turn it into a long-lasting narrative that people treat like fact. It shows how tragedy leaves space that gets filled with theories, and how online platforms push those stories because they get attention, clicks, and views. XXXTentacion was a complex artist with a lot going on around him. He had real tensions with multiple people, including Migos, Rob Stone, Trippie Redd, and even Ski Mask the Slump God. A lot of those situations didn't stay in music. They spilled into real life and had real consequences. At the same time, he was trying to grow and shift Disha in the months before his passing, even apologizing and working to change his mindset for his supporters. That journey got cut short, and since then, the space he left behind has been filled with years of speculation and stories that keep getting reshaped. If you made it this far, tap that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Share this with someone who's been seeing all the rumors so they can hear the full breakdown.